Welcome back to the 2026 First Stand Tournament. Today, we've got LYON versus LYON. And looking at this first comp. Oh, I don't have it paused. We had Gnar last pick. Looking at these comps, we got Renekton Gnar top side. Pretty like whatever pro matchup. It's slightly Gnar favored. IMO. Bot lane matchup. We saw a lot in domestic leagues of Nico something versus Lulu something. Nico used to be the favorite side. Now I think Lulu is more the favorite side. And with the 80 carries, Gnar is very strong scaling. And Ezreal, I feel like he's not. I feel like you have to play it so well to be a lane bully on Ezreal. I just don't think it's easy / expected to do so. So I think LYON has the favorite bot lane matchup. The mid jungle, our Pantheon is really strong, but I really like Mel. I think that champ's really OP personally. So I like that the Mel was picked, but it is going to be a bit slower. So we'll have to see how that gets played out going into the game. Oh, I should probably have sound on, probably. So, okay, I missed too much already. Okay, we go back. We have to go back all the way to before the game starts, because similar to the last time Mel was picked, I don't know how this keeps happening, but the Mel got caught again, level 1 warning. This time, Saint is here, and Envy is going to have to blow flash. He actually would have died if Pantheon started W, I'm pretty sure, but instead just takes the flash. And the reason this is relevant is 1, Mel blows flash. 2, Pantheon is slow on his clear now, and that's going to matter because YongJ wastes no time making the game freaky in the early game. So J forward baigs and gets blue and goes for Grom, but very intelligently inspired question mark pings right now the Raptors and says, hey, J4 is not on Raptors yet. That must mean he's invaded and done the Jarvan EQ over the wall. So this is really good negative information informing your decision. They notice he is not doing the Raptors, which means that J4 must be invading the enemy blue. So Inspired goes into the enemy bot side, goes and takes the blue, sees Jarvan, doesn't want to like fully contest, but here YongJ does something really smart. So Inspired sees YongJ doing the wolves, assumes that YongJ will probably try to do the Gromp as well. And because of that assumption, Inspired is going to cross to try to take top grab. But YongJ actually takes his top grab instead before Inspired can get there. So this is good pathing from YongJ. But it's not honestly that big of a deal because YongJ has done so much running around. He hasn't had the time to actually clear all of his camps. He's not actually going to be up a lot in this game because Inspired is now resetting his... He's on his second clear of camps right now, whereas YongJ has only killed his first set of camps. And this leads into this mid gank at 4 minutes. Inspired, known for being a very farm-focused jungler, but not only gets the flash level 1, delaying his clear, but repeat ganks at 4 minutes to get the kill on the mid laner. Really good from both Saint and Inspired to set that up and execute on that lack of a flash. And I would say, looking at this game is a lot more... It seems like people understand how Mel plays more, but this is probably still momentum from before. Like, muscle memory is the better word, because he kind of does die because he charms himself here. Saint just has to not press charm and he'd be fine, but he charms himself and now he's dead. So I would say this is like the one play this game where people like aggressively are playing poorly into Mel. This is a pretty obvious mistake, but in contrast to last game that Mel was played in whatever series it was, where people were constantly dying to Mel in really stupid ways, this game actually LYON does a pretty good job at respecting the Mel damage and timing here. So immediately out of the replay, do they show? Okay, so Renekton in the picture-in-picture you can see is gonna flash onto this Gnar and get a big trade going. Flashes onto him, gets the wave in, gets the trade going, and this dive attempt is gonna fail because he gets aggro too early with his ulti, and then Jarvan's like, oh, we can't do this dive. Pantheon sees this and goes for the dragon, and the dragon goes down. Jarvan stops slide. But because Loud sees that Inspired is on the dragon, J4 knows, hey, we can just redive this. And I don't know, it's really hard to not die to this. Dokla tries to flash out, but does still go down. Young Jay has to flash out. Not really much Dokla can do there. He kind of just got left to the wolves. And this is a lane that's... It's really not the end of the world to die in this lane as Gnar. There are some lanes that are much worse, but this is like really whatever. I think getting this dragon is still quite good. So we're gonna move along here. The Grubs are going to be the next point of contention. Or no, so they're not. Pantheon is going to start Grubs, and Loud is going to opt to not try to contest these and instead go bot lane. Now, this bot lane dive, if it works, would mean this is a bad time for Grubs. But Berserker uses his ultimate to clear this wave really quickly. And this is one of the negatives of having a champion like Mel, is she is really bad at being able to be on time for these side waves. Because not only is she, you know, she can't play that aggressively mid lane, but she's also just slow to get to the side lane, and she doesn't have a mobility to do something to get there. I'm pretty sure that if this is an Ahri on Mel, they're gonna dive this bot lane for sure. The problem is just it's Mel. And that's not to say that Mel is therefore a bad champion, but this is just one of the disadvantages of having a champion like Mel, is that this dive doesn't exist, and that is a free set of Grubs for LYON. The Pantheon ulti also is going to cover, so there's no way they can do it on the next wave like Loud had done to Dokla a bit earlier. You can't do the same thing. It just won't work. So, here we just need to see how this plays out, because this charm onto the Mel, getting the reflect, is a big deal, because now there's no reflect. The Pantheon ulti is here. Okay, so we do miss the charm onto the knocked up target, but it doesn't matter. Inspired bails us out, and it's a good play. If the reflect was up, that could have been that's probably enough to deter them from doing that. However, good from Saint to get that reflect elf and win that 2v2. Good job from LYON. Another good play. Inspired, nice ulti. Inspired's done a good job. He got all the Grubs, and he got the dragon. And he's gotten 2 kills on the lane that is most important. Like, you can't just let Mel 1v1 the Ahri the whole game, because Mel obviously outscales. So it's good that there's been some attention paid to the mid lane. And NA pride here for us NA players. The Renekton is not respecting this Gnar. Double E'ing forward, and Dokla says, hey, are you sure you can do that? And then he E's in again, and he is just dead here. He's just getting kited. He flashes, but this Q, boom. Beautiful. From Big Dokes. This is why Gnar is a good champion into Renekton, is that his magic damage on max HP counters well with Renekton's ulti, and Gnar finds it a lot, like, it's pretty easy for Gnar to just kite at the Renekton, as you can see. That's why the people like the matchup, and it was well played from Dokla. Inspired, though, dodges the EQ from the Jarvan, stuns him, and then E's all of the damage after the Nico ulti. And that results in just a bad engage, a missed engage, rather, from Loud, where their engage has just failed. And that allows LYON to get the counter engage and have a huge team fight win on this dragon, the dragon that spawned. Redbird does eventually go down here, I believe. I don't think, yeah, no. Isles lives. Redbird eventually is going to go down. It's kind of bad that he spent so much time before dying. That's going to make it pretty annoying for bot lane. But let's look at this fight again. Dodge on the EQ. Pantheon E on the Ezreal's direction, who's going to provide most of the damage at that point. And Aspire just simply is way too healthy for this part of the fight. He needs to have died if Loud wants to win this fight. And the Ahri, this is Ahri's favorite, team fight. That's how she wants to team fight. Dokla hype after the solo kill, I assume.
With that pop blossom landing, you can see the
So,
CBLOL versus LCS all-time head-to-head. It is 38.
14.5 minutes, 4K gold lead, pretty big. Here, the Mel goes into the side lane and simply disrespects the Yunara on the side lane. Maybe has some fake vision with that ward over the wall and the pink in the bush, not realizing Lulu is there. Nice ulti from Dokla to survive, but he even emotes as well. J4 gets caught here, so this whole sequence is really bad for Loud. The Mel died bot lane. Dokla survived the 1v2 top lane. J4 gets caught in the middle, in the jungle on bot side, and then afterwards, Dokla has to, obviously respect this because he could die because he is pretty low, but baits the Renekton to keep going to E in, and now Pantheon is in range, and the Nico goes down, and they also chase down this Renekton to kill him as well. So this sequence was not necessarily macro. It was mostly Cloud is just making mechanical, like obvious errors, right? Like Mel's disrespecting the Yunara and dying. J4 gets caught top lane. The top lane gank onto Gnar is not a bad idea per se, but getting baited into going into the tower against Pantheon is a bad idea. And that's, extended this gold lead by a significant margin. They were up 4K before, now they're up almost 7K. 60 minutes into the game. That is a significant gold lead. And we'll move a bit faster because, again, there is a huge gold lead. Here, Dokla, he will always fight. That's the thing about Dokla, is he is always ready to fight. The Ahri TP comes in, but he gets the solo kill onto Renekton. Pantheon and Ahri are here, but wasn't even necessary. Is just making sure the lads are okay. Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and I believe Loud... Oh, yeah. First LYON do the Herald after this top play, but the Dragon is up. Don't think Loud are going to fight this. It is a bit of a doom scenario. The AD carry is down an entire item, which is not good. Everyone else on the team is up 1.5K plus. That's also bad. Nobody is feeling strong in the enemy Loud team. Sometimes you have games where a large proportion of the lead is concentrated on one person, but in this game, literally everybody is ahead. Everybody's up almost 2K now. So nobody on Loud is feeling strong, so it makes sense to not contest. What you want to see from LYON is a clean end to this game. They're definitely supposed to be winning from this position. So we're looking for getting these tier 2s, potentially getting a Baron set up. They have Soul, which is good. They're on relatively quick pace, going to get it under 25 minutes based on the next Dragon spawning. So that's what we're looking for from Loud. You just hope that LYON's making a mistake. And Dokla in the LCS had a tendency to overextend on the side lane, and that is still something he needs to work on because he does die again. This is not good. The only silver lining, well, a big silver lining, is that the Nico gets the kill and tier 2 mid goes down for LYON. So if it wasn't a shutdown, it would be fine, but he does have a shutdown, so he shouldn't be trading his life for that. Saint also gets a bunch of play spot lane, but he gets rooted by the E ults, but he does survive, so it's fine. He's okay.
Remember,
Next situation is, oh yeah, Dokla is just going to get this bot tower. Based off of that play where he died top, Ari got freedom. Excuse me. Ari had the freedom to hit this, and now Dokla gets this. And the Drake is really going to be the next play. Lions up 10k. You expect to be a free fight, but let's see how it plays out. Lion have first control, first setup. Dokla is just losing his mini now, but Loud aren't in a position to start the dragon, so it does seem fine. He does find the Gnar on the side lane though, and is getting a lot of damage. Renekton goes in, but just doesn't nearly have enough damage. Inspired flashes onto the Mel. The Nico is in minion form, finds Dokla, but he flashes out, and that means the engage has just failed. Loud need to get from this position. They need like a crazy engage where they wombo combo a bunch of people. We can't be using, and I'm not saying this is like a criticism, like they made a mistake. It's just, okay. Yeah, like we need like the perfect engage, and we didn't get the perfect engage, so we instantly lose. Now, that being said, Dokla again does get caught on side here. You know, he is very frequently overextending on the side lane plays. He does go down. Dragon Soul is up. So Dokla will be down for a bit while Dragon is up. We'll skip ahead to that. So he's down for 15 seconds and Loud is on the Dragon. Lion are just going to fight this anyway, though. They're up 12, 13k even. Inspired has GA, so he's not scared of getting engaged on. If Berserker and Saint don't get killed, their team will win the fight, and they don't get killed. Berserker lives, Saint kills the Nico, and everybody else from Loud goes down. That ends the game. Really good game, honestly, from Lion. I like the play from Inspired early. I think he did a really good job at not only prioritizing objectives, but also affecting the mid lane matchup. I, you know, am a big Mel fan, but I think, like very naturally her counter is, you know, aggressive games, high fighting game states where she doesn't have flash because she's very easy to take down. So we'll see how game 2 goes to see if Loud can bounce back. In game 2, I want to talk about bans. Ryze is very often banned. Azir kind of fell off after the recent patch 26.5. Ryze is basically the only mid laner that didn't get changed from that patch where like everyone was first picking every mid laner in the game. I think this champ's pretty strong. I haven't talked a lot about bans because there's a lot to go over very quickly, but I think this champ's pretty strong. The response of Cassio is a fine one. I think it's fine. And overall, oh, I forgot to say, there's a last pick Vayne from Lion, but there's swapping going on for Loud, so I have to stop it here because this is the order they pick their champions in. And Kalista Renata into Ashe Seraphine sounds weird, but it's actually not that bad because it's a way to get engaged from bot lane against Ashe Seraphine without getting destroyed in the 2v2. And last pick Vayne into Sion. Sion is weirdly very resilient to Vayne. It sounds like Vayne would counter Sion, but weirdly, Sion is just... the shield is such a big part of the matchup. It actually is quite difficult for Vayne. So, I personally probably... I don't know. I mean, I think Loud need to, like, cycle Drakes and get an early soul, and if they can do that, then they should be able to win the game. I'm not sure Lion's comp comes online fast enough, really, to stop that. We'll see how the game plays out. Moving into the start of the game. Let me make this a bit louder, just so you can hear. Let's look at top lane. So Dokla is going very aggressively for this trade. Flashes. It's essentially a trade flash. The both junglers matched their clears, I believe. Yeah, they did. And Youngjae crossed to get the top crab. Didn't want to contest bot crab because of the bot prio from Lion. And because Dokla had such insane top priority, the Aatrox ends up going down for this, which is really big for the Vayne. This is a huge bonus. Makes the lane a lot easier for her. But you'll see that she doesn't actually get that big of a lead. This isn't like other tanks where you get like a giant lead. There's a huge wave stacking. Saint does barely live here. If that Q and W landed, Saint would have had to flash, but because they don't, he is fine. But you'll see that Sion's really not down that much CS. You know what I mean? Like, that's a kill on that Vayne, and the Vayne is only up like 2 waves. Loud, they have Kalista bot lane, so they're going to play to stack dragons. That's how the game works. You absolutely must stack dragons when you're playing Kalista. If you don't, then you're forfeiting the game. Scuttle spawns topside though, so Inspired does get a trade, quote unquote, and also steals the red. Some good trading here from Lion's bot lane. Probably they could have played this more aggressively, but they end up playing it more on the safe side. I mean, I understand why. You feel like you outscale. You don't need to do anything too crazy. And mid lane here, they get the kill onto the Rise, which is really big in this matchup. Knocking down that Rise is going to make this champion, like, Cassio as a counter isn't a real counter where you just win and it's free. It is part of a skill check, but getting a gold lead is going to be a big help to making it a lot easier to contain him in this game. So, top lane, Sion has Spellbook, so that's something to think about. So he pops the Elixir of Force here and swap to Ignite. So even without landing like any abilities, a very small Q, he still does such a big part of the Vayne HP bar. And the reason that this is good is that Rise is on the roam. Otherwise, this would be terrible for Sion. But Sion does get the kill solo. Rise has to just accept that Vayne is going to die without giving him an assist. But a good roam from Envy, a good play from Zyno, and this is kind of why I'm talking like this Vayne into Sion isn't that good. You don't often build like full attack speed Bork one shot or like kill the Sion. But before I finish that thought, there's a lane gank bot lane with Kalista ulti, and both of Lion's bot lane just die. Nice gank from Loud. But getting back to the Vayne builds, you don't build like a Bork and full attack speed on Vayne in an actual top lane game. Like, that's not how you play top lane Vayne. And that's why the matchup's not as good as you might initially suspect with percent max HP true damage against the HP stacker. Cassio is coming down and looking to clean up. Nice ulti there. Cassio flashes to follow Kalista's flash and does get not only the kill, but both of the Kalista sum, which is really big. But now the no flash, the Rise in the new season is afforded the ability to go ghost in this matchup. It's very common. And this makes it really scary for Cassio at various points in this game. Whenever Cassio has no flash, Rise has a lot of threat. Even with Cassio having flash, Rise has a lot of threat. So we'll have to kind of see. There's a small little grub contest here. It just ends up being 2 for 1. Nothing crazy happens. So Cassio has the Roa, is so much stronger than Rise right now. Look at the items. It's boots 2 to Roa. The problem is that it doesn't matter if you're at a Roa if there are 3 people in your lane. And here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Rise uses not only the boots 2, but the Ghost. Gets into range, lands the root. There's no ulti on Cassio yet. And this results in a shutdown. I don't know if it was actually a shutdown. It is a shutdown for Loud, for Envy, getting him back more closely in line, and will probably have his Roa after this base. Yeah, he has his full Roa from his Sapphire Crystal. The weird thing here, though, is Loud recall in their dual lane and swap. And I think this is a huge mistake macro-wise, because Kalista is all about the dragons, and we just gave this second dragon. I think this is a huge problem. I understand why we're doing it. It's a freaking Vayne. We want to swap into the Vayne lane. I understand. But I just don't think it's worth losing this dragon for. I think we're supposed to get this dragon. And
He knows everyone from his
then we can do
topside,
this
not
swap.
allowing anyone to contest the
So I
dragon.
just think it's
Where
poorly
they-
timed.
they can be topside.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's a reason to do it immediately that is warranting losing this dragon. Vayne does have to leave, and the Scion can 1v2 very comfortably bot lane, so that's completely fine. Loud, with their numbers advantage, are going to contest this blue buff, but Ashe is now walking up, and Seraphine is the one that's still bot lane for some reason. Now she's basing. Arrow comes up, lands it onto onto Callista, and Callista and the rest of the Loud side. Okay, this is not happening. Let's not lose the game over this. Ryze has to ult back to mid. Scion does end up getting a plate bot lane. All of Lion had moved up, so Saint, this is something Saint does and Lion does a lot. They're really liking freezing these lanes, and here Loud catch Saint being a bit too carefree, let's say. He is freezing, but he's not like actually as safe as he thinks he is. He ends up going down. He's trying to be safe, but Loud don't even have to burn any flashes. It's just the ultimates. Now it is all the ultimates, but it's a free kill. There's not an objective up anytime soon. So looking at mid lane here. Nice trading from Ryze here, but looking at mid lane, this is why Renata is just not that good against Enchanter champs. Because, I mean, okay, this is not why, but this is why people look at this matchup and think it's really bad, but it's just one of those things that happens, right? There's no ultis from before. Yeah, you got hit by the root from Seraphine. This leads to the Lion taking the Herald, and a good play from Lion to get back into the game. Loud do probably feel a bit pressured right now, I have to say, because they missed that first dragon, or they missed the second dragon, so they're not going to get a fast soul. They're not up a meaningful amount of gold. The big solace for them is that the Vayne is not ahead, so the Scion is completely fine. Scion finishes his second item, feeling very strong. Protoplasm and Frozen Heart, big purchases for the what's it called, for the Scion. There's a skirmish around topside for this Scuttle Crab, but the E from Scion into all of Aatrox's damage does result in Mundo going down. Even though Mundo is is very tanky, just the armor pen shred, and then Aatrox literally ended every ability perfectly, and same with Scion. And because they're playing such tanky champions, the tower is no safe haven for the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia also goes down. And Loud is now back in it, right? That's a big swing of the gold. They now go up 2k approximately. Going to go up even more after Scion gets a plate, denies some of the CS. The next dragon's coming up. Lion are not going to fight it. They definitely want to scale. Lion have been known to trade these dragons for advantages on the other side. In this case, they're not getting an advantage, but they're very willing to give dragons. Let's put it that way. So Ryze from base is going topside. He's not bothering going bot side, and the reason for this is that Loud see an angle to play for the top tier 1. Vayne doesn't have enough wave clear, and Ryze being mid allows the dual lane from Loud to shift up to topside. So when Vayne sees that, she is forced to back off, and this allows the rest of Loud to take this top tier 1. Good macro play. Cassio is getting an equal, is getting some damage onto the bot tower, but it is not going to be the full tower. Ryze does get back there eventually, and is going to try to defend this as much as he can, not give this gold, if at all possible. So here we'll talk about Scion's movement. So Scion's sitting mid lane here, potentially looking for something around this lane, but I think he just moves bot a bit too late because he needs to be going bot faster. Reason being that Cassio ends up just taking this tower for free. So this tower that they saved before, they're now losing. not the biggest of deals, but I don't think that Sion needed to be mid for as long as he was. Here, Loud looked for a play, but it doesn't end up amounting to anything. Trade of ultimates at this point in time. The next dragon is spawning, and Lion's items are pretty good. They have like 2 items on a lot of people, but they again decide not to fight it. And this is what Lion does a lot. I would say they do it too much. They're too willing to make these trades, and Sion TP's back top lane, and that TP shield on Sion is really annoying. So there's no way that Vayne is going to feel comfortable to take the tower. The trade is basically nothing. I think Lion can fight this. They're opting not to. Is it incorrect to not fight it? Probably. It would be the words of a very harsh person to say that it was a big mistake not to fight that, or even that it was a mistake. I think it's a team preference, whether you're gonna have a stronger spike this fight or next fight, because the items at that point in time weren't actually that bad. Here, Loud very aggressively looked for the mid tower and this dive, but a nice flash from Berserker does get him out of there. And now Loud is the one that are getting chased out and chased down. Ulti from Saint onto the Sion. Sion is very, very slowly walking away, but has that protoplasm. Once he pops, very hard to kill him. The Aatrox is the one that ends up going down. Excuse me, I'm gonna be yawning all video. I hope that isn't a big problem. And after the catch there from Lion, the rest of Loud actually gets chased down. The Sion as a champion is so tanky, but the Aatrox is the one that ends up going down initially, and that results in Lion eventually getting the snatch off of the top end jungler going down, which is huge because Lion outscales, right? If they get to late game and they have full items of Mundo, Vayne, Cassio, Ashe, and even Seraphine, that is going to be very, very nice for Lion. They should have a big advantage at that point. So it's all about getting to that point with, you know, the enemy not having Hextech Soul, because Hextech Soul is pretty good. So Lion are going to play top side because the top tier 1 is up. Inspired is doing his camps, so they're a bit slow to walk in. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine to do that. Rise is very strong right now with Actualizer. This Actualizer item is somehow more OP than Seraph's and Roa on Rise. I'm not sure how that's possible, but it is true that this Actualizer is just so OP. Now here, the arrow lands onto Rise, and that kind of baits Isles into a bad pathing, and Youngjae gets the kill. And that kind of blocks the Baron. They got the top tier 1, but after the kill onto Isles, there is basically nothing left for Lion to do with the snatch. It's going to be all about this Baron, or excuse me, this soul fight, how the game's going to play out. So Loud do have first setup. They're controlling the dragon because they are closer to the dragon. Lion are going to have to walk in, but with Hawk shots, it's not that scary to walk in. They're getting some free damage onto the Sion, but the handshake from Renata into the Sion ulti means that Saint just gets chain CC to death. Also, at the same time, Dokla is in the backline killing the rest of the Kalista Renata. But also at the same time, the Rise just killed the Seraphine from full HP. So, Inspired goes down here. Loud get the dragon here. If we just go back and watch this fight, the most important things are this handshake from Renata right here, landing onto the Cassiopeia, then the Sion ulti, and then look at the Seraphine. She's going to get flashed on by the Rise and get one shot. And that is just... This is not how Lion wants to play the fight. They want everybody to be trying to have to go through this Mundo, not be able to have access onto the double carry backline, or even the triple carry backline, because they have Vayne as well. The winning team fight results in a Hextech Soul. Now, in fairness, this is probably the worst Hextech Soul game I've ever seen. like basically none of the champs utilize it well because none of them have an ability that they can easily just throw at the enemy that's gonna hit, like an Ash W or, you know, something like that. But it's still very, very good, and especially against Seraphine, a champion all like designed around mobility, it's kind of very, very tough still. And Loud have the lead in gold. This Rise is so strong right now. He's got 4 items. LYON are looking, get a lot of damage, excuse me, but nothing ends up happening. LYON, you can see the strengths of LYON's comp here, right? Even against Hextech Soul, they're still able to make things happen. And here, Redbert just says, I'm going in. Lands the Renata ulti. The Sion ulti lands right after onto the Ashe. The Ashe goes down. And this is another instance of a coordinated Loud engage on multiple fronts. They're doing the triangle offense of League of Legends, where you've got Redbert coming from this side, you got Envy coming from the down here, and Bull and Young Jay coming from up here, creating a sort of pincer motion. This is exactly how you want to team fight against these ball comps and try and split people off. Ashe just has to panic. The Q from Sion lands onto the Cassiopeia, and the Kalista is just able to hit the Mundo. Not much for LYON to do after the way that starts. It's just so hard. And another fight where Envy really popped off, in my opinion. Big plays from him. The game does not end up ending here. But Loud does have a significant advantage. The Elder is coming up, so that's going to be the next contested objective. And here, LYON find Envy on the side lane. He gets arrowed. This could be so bad for LYON. Oh, excuse me, for Loud. But then the Rise did just one-shot both carries. So let's just look at that again. Ooh. Ooh. Yikers. Man, this Rise champ is freaking OP. You know what I mean? This Cassio matchup was a lot better before they invented Actualizer, because, man, this Actualizer was so good on Rise. Like, he just randomly has an item that makes him deal 40% more damage now. Like, and then also gives him mana and AP. It's, like, crazy. So, that's the end of the game. GG from Loud. They bounce back. We'll see who takes the lead in the pivotal game 3. Going to game 3. Really spicy draft coming out here from LYON. They got LeBlanc into Aurora and Garen into Cassante. Garen into Cassante, to me, has always been one of those champs that if you can play it, then it is a good pick, but not a lot of people can play it well, which kind of sounds weird because it's Garen, but that's sort of the way that I see it. The LeBlanc into Aurora is pretty high execution from the LeBlanc side, but it is very annoying for Aurora. You're you're essentially forced to go Mercs, which is pretty annoying when the rest of the team comp, you know, you would really like to go Sorks or even Ionians. Braum is also pretty annoying for Aurora and Kiana, because if you ever get tagged, that CC doesn't go, like, you can't invis the CC from Braum really, because you're getting auto attacked. So it's kind of annoying for those champs as well. Cassante and Alistar are also at huge threat of just getting Garen ulted later in the game and making the team fights hard for Loud. Sivir is potentially going to be very strong if the fights can start, but we'll have to see if that is the case. Also, Lucian Braum to Sivir Alistar just is pretty good from what I understand. So, game 3 starts off, and, you know, I love what's happening in these early games because there's always some crazy stuff. So, same thing as the Mel game where there's an Inspired coming mid saying hi. This time, no flash is necessary to be blown, but Inspired does blow, or excuse me, does invade the enemy Raptors. Kiana is so bad level 1. She starts W. She just has she essentially just auto attacks, and what this means is Qiyana cannot contest. But after getting pushed out from the top side, Qiyana runs all the way around, invades the enemy red buff. This is a really smart adaptation. This saves Youngjae's early game to a certain extent. And Inspired does not recognize this. Doesn't realize that this has happened. Qiyana takes both the red and the Raptors. Inspired sees this, goes, oh, that's not good. Checks the Krugs. The Krugs are still there. Youngjae back. So Youngjae's down a bit of CS, but he did take 2 camps back. So depending on how the rest of this turn plays out, we'll see if that lead stays. The bot lane, there's a big heavy trade, and Qiyana instead decides, okay, we're just going to gank this. This is kind of all or nothing. If this gank works, then that's good, obviously. But if it doesn't work, then... And it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, then the Wukong is now going to be able to invade Raptors again, which is exactly what happens. So Wukong wasted a lot of time going all the way across the map to contest, or to get those Krugs, and missed the Raptors and red and was down a camp. But now, because Qiyana went for this gank, she is now going to lose not just her Raptors, but she's losing her red. She does not lose her Krugs, but now Wukong's going to be ahead on tempo. Qiyana got the scuttle, but Wukong's going to be back on time for his own Raptors. Qiyana's not there to contest. So the result of this early game is that Inspired is basically up a couple camps. I don't know exactly how it works, so all the camps are off, but he's going to be up a little bit, and that is going to be a bit... that's going to be good for LYON. I didn't really touch much on the Qiyana. I like Qiyana, but this is not that easy of a Qiyana game, in my opinion. Like, Garen's annoying, Braum's annoying, LeBlanc's pretty fast, hard to pin down. Wukong is pretty tanky. It's not the easiest. So, here, Saint goes for a trade. An ult coming in from Envy. Qiyana is just here, and they are going to force Saint to blow the flash. Potentially didn't need to, but she just wants to keep her HP up for the, for the laning phase to get that wave. Now, LeBlanc in base. Now, because Qiyana showed there, or not because Qiyana showed there, LeBlanc is basing first. Garen has top prio. Wukong is going to get this top scuttle. It would be very scary for Qiyana to try to contest this. They're the same level, but Wukong wins 1v1, and LYON has double prio, so there's no contest for the second scuttle here. And this is the situation where Aurora is not in mid lane. She's walking around. Oh no, excuse me. LeBlanc has first move into the dragon, not with prio, but just with the fact that all of LYON is on that side. Qiyana just leaves and goes to invade and steal top camps. This is actually a pretty annoying thing, but the Garen walks down to cover the rest of the camps. It's just blue that's gone. You're gonna take a dragon for blue buff trade as LYON, and afterwards Qiyana takes 1 grub. There's a billion pings going down, and LeBlanc sees the grubs leaving and says, okay, yep, she's off, we're good. She's not getting all the grubs. Wukong, after clearing the rest of his top camps, goes and kills 1 of the grubs again. The reason that junglers only kill 1 grub, there Qiyana couldn't kill all the grubs, but here the reason you only kill 1 grub is Inspired is concerned that Qiyana is going to try to invade if he shows that he is, like, here you can see LeBlanc is like making sure that Qiyana is not stealing this red buff, right? That's what is happening right now. That's why Wukong's not killing the grub. Qiyana isn't doing that. It's a bit unsafe to do that. Not just because she doesn't see the thing, but just in general, it's a bit scary. So Inspired is here, is gonna reset, or like is gonna cycle these camps very active early game despite nothing happening, right? Like it's 0-0. No one's died. No towers. The objectives died without a fight. They were both basically traded. But lots of little things, lots of little advantages. Young Jay's done good to stay close to even this game. And Inspired's done well to keep a jungle lead, as well as like to create a jungle lead, keep it, and get the neutrals while doing so. Here, there's a little skirmish in bot side, but nothing comes of it. The mid lane matchup is the only matchup where there is a significant CS lead. LeBlanc has around about 15 CS lead after this wave. After Aurora gets this wave, it'll be around 15 probably. Somewhere close to that. And, you know, top and mid are very similar. Once Garen gets this wave, he'll be about equal, and bot lane's about equal. So the main thing differentiating the teams is the neutral objectives. Loud is going to get the last one here, but Wukong is up almost 3 camps, it looks like, because Kiana's going to get 2 camps here. Wukong's killing Grubs. Or Krugs. Gromp. Why do all... Grubs, Krugs, Gromp. Whatever. Okay. Okay, next play. Kiana got the bot scuttle and is just sort of poking her head around. See if Raptors are up. See if Inspired's on these immediately. But the second W from the Kiana, LeBlanc lands the chain, and that proves to be fatal. The double chain, LeBlanc's double chain is a long CC. A lot of lower level LeBlancs don't utilize the double chain as much, but it is such a powerful CC combo, like by yourself, because it doesn't only root you for a certain amount of time, it also slows you for that amount of time, and that just allows your teammates so much time to gap close. Here, Wukong is stunned and still is in range. LeBlanc gets solo killed here. We'll see how that happens in a bit, but after the solo kill, the LeBlanc is coming out on the map. Aurora has no ulti. LYON are going to go for this dragon. Loud don't feel like they can contest, and the dual lanes have swapped to mid lane now. But LYON does get this dragon for free. Here's the replay. Saint is low from the Kiana, and Envy, after landing the Q, decides to send the ulti, and Saint doesn't pre-flash the auto attack from the Aurora and goes down. So pretty bad. Saint had a pretty solid lead in the mid lane. Now it's still a lead, but it's not, you know, it's an amp tome. It's not like the end of the world. Okay, so let's talk about it being the worst soul, which we'll talk about later. This is where I need to talk about why mid lane is really weak, because how is a LeBlanc getting solo killed by a Cassante? Clearly, this top lane role is just so OP. Like, this guy's got Iceborne Gauntlet, Chain Vest, 0 MR, and my LeBlanc gets 100 to 0. Like, what? Let's look at this again. Look, full HP LeBlanc, by the way. 1000 HP over the wall, just completely one-shot. How is that balanced? This role is so OP, okay? And if that's not enough, you might think, oh, Nicholas, you're being a baby. No, top lane, this role is so OP. Like top lane, like mid lane needs a buff for sure. How is it possible that a Garen and Cassante solo kill an Aurora and LeBlanc like 100 to 0? The Garen solo under the tower, free. This is my agenda post for this video. Cassante TP's top and kills the Garen though. So the top lane play wasn't actually that... I mean, okay, it was still good for LYON. You'd rather take the kill, but Loud do answer back at the cost of their teleport. And then shortly afterwards, Cassante sets up the Kiana gank here. Cassante has kind of gotten through this game pretty safely and is looking quite good. Here, the flash W doesn't land the Q, but the all-out like pseudo stun keeps the Garen in place long enough for the Kiana to get in range. There's no flash on the Garen because she used it to dive the Aurora. He used it to dive the Aurora. So very good from the K'Sante. K'Sante is definitely getting a lot of value. Currently, the Garen is not being that useful, right? Like K'Sante is just running the game currently. But we'll see how team fights go, because one of the big advantages isn't necessarily the laning phase. It's just that the ultimate from Garen is such a huge blocker for K'Sante in team fights. He has to play a lot more honestly and can't just do K'Sante things where he lives on 200 HP the whole fight. So, Dragon contest is coming up. Both teams are here ready to go. Garen has TP, Aurora has TP. The top lane like mismatch with mid laner thing is favored towards both top laners because those rules are OP. Garen has based. LeBlanc is going to be looking for a flank. Garen is just running up mid, opting not to utilize the teleport, the 7-minute teleport to get to this fight. He's just going to walk here and be here ready to go immediately. And just sort of skirmishing, trying to find picks, some poke damage. We'll move a little bit forward. LYON end up having the river control. Loud go in. Herald gets spawned, but boom! Alistar just gets killed from half HP by the Garen ulti. And that moment in the game, I think, is when everybody realized, watching, like, oh, LYON can just kill the front line of Loud, and there might not be a lot of counterplay. Because look at how this fight starts, right? It's an 80% HP Alistar, 70% HP Alistar. He goes in, he takes a little bit of damage, he's 40% but just dies. And if the Alistar has to respect that to not die, it's going to be really hard for him to actually like get vision and play frontline team fights, because he's going to have to instantly ult as soon as anything hits him out of fear of getting ulted by the Garen. The Battle Herald goes in just to take the tower, and that's a dragon for LYON. So LYON they're not the fastest soul, 25 minutes, but are on pace to get a soul relatively early into this game. We'll move ahead a little more. Inspired after the early game hasn't been doing a ton other than just getting the objectives. Not that that's a small amount, but not a lot of kills. And here he does make a play. This is the value of Garen. Boom. Right after the all out, right? Garen doesn't even have, or K'Sante doesn't even have time to press W. He just dies in the silence. That's why Garen is good into K'Sante. And Garen is also going to be very annoying for Alistar. LYON's going to get this bot tower. Envy is trading heavily on top lane here. A little trade mid lane. Young Jay maybe has to blow something. No summoner's blown. But the top lane, the mid laners in top lane are duking it out. Saint tries to bait Envy's flash, I think, with that. But Envy very intelligently flashes as soon as he loses vision of LeBlanc. Saint waits for out of vision to shoot his chain to not give information, but just a smart recognition from Envy to know that Saint will shoot the chain in the bush when you lose vision. So here, Kiana gameplay revolves a lot around finding pockets of vision and playing for it, but here she kind of just gets seen. Okay, that's kind of a weird E. I didn't see that initially, but does just get killed for free. And LYON are not so ahead that as soon as their jungler is dead, they think, okay, we must start Nash instantly. It's clearly good. They're taking a little more measured approach. Saint does not get poked there. Alistar and Braum are both here. This Braum champ is not that good for this mid lane matchup, I'll be honest. It's not that useful, but in this fight, he actually does do a lot of work. Saint and LYON do get this top tower because they kind of outmaneuver Loud in that 2 versus 2. And they try to do something bot, but it's K'Sante. He does manage to escape. So there's another dragon coming up in 15 seconds. And there's a lot of posturing. Posturing is when both teams are sort of just staring at each other and seeing who's going to find the engage, what small poke people are going to land. And this is really bad for Loud. Not only does Alistar use flash, he also has to ult. He's also low. He basically is dead to Garen ulti from this HP. So Garen, you know, if Redbird's ever going for something, Garen's just going to press R and he's going to die instantly. Doesn't matter if the Celestial opposition is up. Saint is going to look for angle. I think this is really hard for Loud, to be honest, because the Alistar, it just isn't a tanky enough champion. And here, Young-Jae is the one that makes a mistake. Dokla, I don't know. He doesn't use his E before he ulti, so Young-Jae doesn't actually die. But in this case, the chunk is good enough, right? It doesn't need to be a kill in this instance. The CC of their 200 HP and can't fight is good enough to secure the soul for LYON. And that's going to be Ocean Soul. And Azale was mentioning that this is the worst soul, but I personally think this is an amazing Ocean Soul game, because a lot of the way these fights are going to work are the... If Loud, like, 100 zeros one person, the rest of the fight is going to be, like, fightable for LYON, depending on who it is that gets one shot, right? If Lucian gets one shot, it might be hard. But, you know, if, like, LeBlanc gets one shot, like, I actually don't think it's that bad. I think Loud can definitely run out of damage with this comp, which is why I think the Ocean Soul is pretty good. Additionally, if there isn't, like, Loud find the engage onto one person, this Ocean Soul is so useful for these, like, posturing standoff situations, especially LeBlanc. I really like Ocean Soul and LeBlanc because LeBlanc gets chunked a lot when she goes for poke, so having that Ocean Soul is nice. Also, she runs out of mana. So I kind of disagree with Azale. I think Ocean Soul is pretty good this game. I also think the other souls are also good, but I think Ocean Soul is very, very strong this game. Envy has to blow ulti, but Inside, I think, also blew ulti, so that's fine. Baron is going to be the next play. Another thing with that Ocean Soul is it makes doing Baron really easy, because you heal off of Ocean, or you heal off of Baron. Don't take a lot of damage. Here, Loud, look for Isles, think he's out of position. Redbird has to blow ulti, but he's so tanky. And look, he's already back to full HP. The small engage timing from Loud is already nullified because Braum is so close to full HP. Like he was just 40% HP, by the way. He has no like healing. He's got a rejuve bead. It's not that OP. He lands a Q and does all the health of the Aurora in healing. So he just gets to stand here. This is why I think this Ocean Soul is actually pretty strong this game. LYON, Inspired, and Berserker are killing the Baron. Young-Jae doesn't get close enough. The Alistar gets Garen ulted again. Sad face for him. And then Inspired finds a huge flash engage, kill everybody. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Game over. GG, LYON. Nice game from them. Really controlled. This early game was slow, but I really liked. I thought it was a really interesting game from both sides. And we're looking to see Loud come back so we can go to game 5. Game 4 between Loud and LYON. Hoping to see Loud come back in this one. Nocturne first pick ends up being kind of annoying for LYON's draft. Like, without looking at the order the champions are drafted, Nocturne is really good into Maokai and Jace as champions. So it's a bit surprising that LYON opted for this line where they're playing Maokai Jace when it's first pick Nocturne. Additionally, the enemy team already has Ornn and Akali. This is, I don't know. I personally don't like this line from LYON. They also I think high prowing Jhin with Rumble makes a lot of sense. And I understand like Jace into the Akali is a pretty solid matchup early and good with poke, but Loud already had so much engaged at the beginning. They pick an assassin as well. I don't know, it just seems so scary. You're picking a full poke team into like Nocturne or Akali. And there are a lot of Enchanter supports gone already. It's unlikely that it's not going to be tank support spot lane. It ends up being Leon versus Poppy. So that's another form of engage. Like, yeah, you have Poppy who blocks some engage, but I don't know. I'm not sure I believe in this from a LYON's perspective. But it does depend on how it goes, that's for sure. This game, Let's go full screen. Let's play this.
In the dirt if you can get him
The
before he gets six, because
early game, last two games have been really crazy. Lots of, you know, creative pathing going on. This game, not so much. Normal, bog standard. Full clears from both. They both match the same side. Nocturne crosses across to get the top scuttle. The big thing in this early game is this Jace versus Akali. Akali taking heavy pressure in this lane. Does a good job at not going down too much CS, but Saint is doing a good job at pressuring a lot onto this Akali. Gets a solid 300 or so gold lead before the on the first base. TP's back. Nocturne during the second full clear goes for a little relief gank just to help out, but doesn't even do anything because Saint is very aware and doesn't even take damage. Is being very annoying for sure. The lane in mid lane still gets pretty bad. Saint tries to Q flash to kill the Akali there, but the creep, the range creep was still alive, so barely doesn't get it. Probably would have worked. Envy flashed way too late, didn't flash, but like if Saint is over that creep, that would have been a solo kill. That would have been huge for this game. But Envy is still very low. The shock blast, Envy opts to flash it. He wouldn't have died to it, but he is extremely low. Saint wards topside, and the game is going relatively good for LYON, I'd say, so far. A nice little shock blast there. Kali's still really chunked. Loud are starting the dragon right about now, but they end up having to go off it because the mid gap is just so big. Like, the Jace is just here at full HP, and Nocturne's like, guys, I guess we can't do it. Nocturne, Makai is not that strong early, especially to Nocturne who can block the Q. So kind of sucks that the Nocturne can't get the dragon, and Makai is going to get top scuttle from this. The top and bot lanes have been going relatively okay. Dokla on the Rumble didn't go first strike, which I think is a bit strange. I feel like people go first strike in the Ornn matchup nowadays. I think in the K'Sante matchup, since yesterday I saw that like proxy strack, maybe it's not as good into K'Sante, but I feel like against Ornn, there's no way that you're not just gonna farm free gold the entire game. But he goes to Comet. He has a decent lead as well, 300, not the worst. The grub spawn Nocturne is level 6, so the Jace can no longer play super aggressively, but a nice E from Leona gets both sums out of the Jhin, flash and cleanse, and get the heal and get the ulti from Poppy. And this is just so many resources that Loud can now just do dragon. Dragon there for Loud. It's not necessarily free because LYON are going to trade grubs for it. Nocturne could have tried to full cross to stop the grubs, but just look at the top lane matchup. Look how sad this Ornn is right now. His base got canceled. Let me show that again. His base got canceled by the Rumble ulti. Already taking a lot of pain. And Ornn and Nocturne decide to team up, try to go top lane and get Dokla. But, you know, this is not the normal rune choice, but I have to say it does look good what he's doing, because he's up 20 CS. He burned the first Nocturne ulti. He soaked it. He sponged it. He had to flash, but he got both Ornn ulti and Nocturne ulti. And he's creating a big lead for himself. This looks like he's playing this matchup extremely well. You know, as this is probably like the most you can expect without like a kill, right? Like this is pretty good. You're not going to get much better than this in a reasonable game. 1k gold lead from the solo laners primarily. Jungle is essentially equal. The grubs and scuttle are the reason that Inspired has a slight lead. And here, coming up very soon, Leona And Loud is like here, and they're kind of posturing to try to go onto Lion, but the angle just isn't there. The Akali is very, very susceptible to, like, she doesn't have that much damage. She's susceptible to just running out of damage, and a nice poppy stun from Isles results in the Leona's death without a lot of choice. And then Inspired knocks his Blast Cone. Ornn has no flash, so he's going to go down as well. So great start here from Lion. 2k gold lead. The game state is excellent for them. Loud is all about getting this dive off, and the Jace being really strong is going to make it a lot harder. Although out of this replay, tragedy does strike for the Jace. The Leona finds the angle with Akali, but not even close 2v2. But the Nocturne comes in, and this is enough. Awkward from Isles. He knocks the... he pushes the Nocturne beside the Jace after the flash, but then he kind of makes up for it by spamming the... He makes sure Nocturne dies. A nice little collection of wards for the Blast Cone, preventing Nocturne from taking it. But that kind of sucks for Jace. He was so strong. I don't know if he had a shutdown, but he probably did, because they were up a decent amount of gold. And Akali really needs to get some gold back in this game. Akali isn't going Gunblade this game, is going Protobelt, which, you know, just makes me sad thinking about it. Like, Gunblade is just so swag. I love this item, and we're not building it? Come on. So, Dragon's coming up. Next Dragon. Lion want to get some poke down before this fight, if possible. If Loud can find access into the backline, that is going to be a huge problem for Lion's side. And here, the counter to poke is just starting the objective so fast there isn't time to poke. So Loud is already hitting this objective, but the Jace isn't grouped with the team. He's split off to the side. And after the dragon, Maokai does steal the dragon, but the Jace, who had already used flash previously, is the one that gets engaged on. And he just went the too aggressive way. And this kind of baits the rest of the line into a fight that is losing. The Jace couldn't have survived. Akali gets the Maokai kill, getting back into the game, and Jace is losing a lot of his lead. He was up 1.5k earlier. Now going to be down, or going to be up only 500. Still has a lot of gold, but if the Akali and Nocturne get a lot of gold, the Jace isn't building defensively to not die to them. It's just going to be chain kills onto the Jace. I didn't mention this, but Jace went Grasp. This makes him a lot tankier in lane and in the game, because he has the resolve secondary tree things and the healing from Grasp itself doing a lot, and then very minorly the flat HP, but mostly just the healing and Merc treads. But this fight, I mean, you're gonna die when you're getting jumped on by a bunch of people as a no flash Jace, and we're gonna see the problems that Jace is gonna have for the duration of this game. Jace is top lane, not even particularly far advanced in the top lane, and he gets ulted, and Akali has flash, so there's not really much the Jace could do. The Nocturne gets the fear, Akali lands all of her spells, and that is only going to get worse and worse this game. There's not really a item that Jace can buy. I was kind of theory crafting, maybe you go Hexdrink or Tabbies, but like that just sounds so terrible. You know, like it just sounds so terrible, because you're probably still going to die anyway. You know what I mean? And you're full tank, and you're close to Jace. You need damage. So I don't think that's good. I think he has the right build probably, but it just, this is why I don't know if I like this like strategically from Lion. They clearly went for a poke comp, but the enemy team 1-2'd Nocturne Ornn, or like one Nocturne and then picked Ornn Akali. Like they are clearly trying to engage on you. So I don't know. Lion in this instance start the Herald, and because there's no Nocturne ult, Loud just decide to go trade bot side. Lion still have a lead, so don't like this game is not by no means over or scary, but this is kind of where things start to go wrong for Lion. Dokla too aggressively looks for this Nocturne, misses the E flash. Youngjae had a very nice sidestep. If that landed, it would have been a 1-for-1. But because the Youngjae dodged it, Dokla just dies for free. And then here, Inspired uses the Herald on the top tower. The problem is that the Ornn uses the Q to block the Herald charge, so this tower is still alive, and now this is diveable. Otherwise, Ornn would have died, and it would have been sort of a trade, like Rumble dies, Ornn died, it's fine. But now the Ornn doesn't die, the tower doesn't die, Rumble did die, and all of LYON's lead's gone until Nocturne too aggressively tries to steal red after this play and ends up going down. Dokla does TP, but it wasn't necessary. It was still free.
Tower shots though, so ends up losing out on that trade. And
Loud bot lane is playing very aggressively. I'll just show this again. They're kind of just being annoying in the enemy jungle here, but LYON call their bluff and say, hey, you are not in the right spot. And they make a mistake here where they don't continue running in the direction they need to live. They just run in a straight line. So I'll show this again. Here, you want, if you're MF and Leona, you want to run up because that's the way you live. That's where your tower is. But they just kind of stand in a straight line. And now Misfortune has like stopped the ability for her to dodge anything by being straight against the wall. Flashes after the Twisted Advance, gets knocked back into the Rumble ulti. This is why Maokai Rumble is such a good combo. Why Jhin is a good combo with it. The blocking doesn't work super well against Rumble. And LYON do decide to start the dragon off of this. The Misfortune is dead. It is a straight up 5 versus 4. But a lot of ultis were used by LYON there. The Nocturne ulti comes in. They find their target, the Jace. He's the one that gets focused. Nocturne steals the dragon. Jace and Poppy do go down. You might think, oh my god, is Lao going to win this 5-4? But no, they're not going to win it. It is going to be a 2-for-2, and they get dragon. So I guess they do win it. But they do win it by running away at the very end, because they have to. Berserker takes some pressure, but is fine. And another fight, another instance in a row where the Jace is the target. Every single fight, this Jace is on this Nocturne screen. It is a, you know, a giant glowing neon sign saying, come ult me. Again, on the side lane, Nocturne and Akali are going to link up. The Rumble does not have Zhonya's, so he is not safe from this combo. There is a Poppy TP ready as soon as Nocturne presses ulti, but it doesn't matter. It's still too late. Poppy's here, it doesn't matter. And a tower for this Akali. And it's kind of crazy that Akali is 504 and Jace is only 300 gold down. That is kind of crazy. But the Jace is not getting nearly the same value as the Akali in this fight. This gold is wasted because he just dies at the beginning of every fight. Nocturne ulti, Akali ulti, everything is used to punish the Jace's positioning and pressure this Jace. The next dragon's coming up. No early souls this game. And again, the LYON with their poke comp, they need to land some of this poke before the dragon if they want to win it. They can't just allow Loud to just get a full engage from full HP. So definitely looking some poke onto the Leona, landing some saplings. Leona taking more damage. Leona's not really the one we want to hit though. We're hitting mostly Leona, and then if Crabs a fruit spawns, a nice Q from Inspired to not get stunned into the wall, a wasted Leona ulti. But if we pause the video right here, Loud is full HP on everyone that matters, right? Ornn is more than full HP. He's got the shield. Akali's full HP. MS more than full HP with DT shield. And the Nocturne's full HP. This is not good enough from a poke comp. I don't think LYON should feel like they should engage here. But they do think that this is their time, or they want to fight. And the Maokai ulti comes in, the Poppy ulti onto the Akali. Maybe it's going to work. The problem is that there simply isn't enough damage onto the important members of LYON. So Envy does a really good job assassinating Berserker. Sorcerer has no time to react. And Loud does get Nash off of this. But if we look back at the replay, what I want to focus on is where all the damage is being focused. Redbur on Leona takes almost all of his HP, and then it's the Nocturne that takes most of his HP. But these are not the carries. These are not the people that Lion need to kill. They need to kill the Akali and the Misfortune for them to want to win a fight. The Akali's full HP when there's no tools up, so she has free access into the backline to get a free assassination onto the Jhin. Jhin had to flash out of this replay. This is right after the replay. Envy does some Akali stuff, almost kills the Jhin, but Jhin flashes away. Akali doesn't want to trade kills with the 700 gold shutdown, 1k shutdown. The Loud Baron push is going to be swift. They don't have the best siege, but what they do have is a Nocturne, and no one on Loud's side, or excuse me, on Lion's side can defend mid tower. Instead of being baited and going top, the Nocturne just goes mid and kills, even though the Lion isn't baiting on this top side. That's another kill. Now Lion is going to be even more spread thin. There are no ultis on Loud, but they do not need ultis in this instance because Lion simply have no threat on them. All of Loud get out, nothing crazy happens, and they're going to look to play on the bot side of the map after this. They don't have Baron anymore. They got 2 inhibs with it. It was a worthwhile Baron. They have a 7k gold lead. Lots of strong items. Now we just see how Loud cleans up the game. And they're looking for this bot tier 2, which makes perfect sense. There's no neutrals up. The dragon is up in 30 seconds, but you can do stuff before the dragon. You don't have to take a fight on the dragon itself. And Inspired gets Leona ulted, raw, and just goes down. The TP comes in from the Rumble. Almost looks like it could be winning, but the problem is the Rumble doesn't have Zhonya's yet. He felt like he needed to go Riftmaker second and then Void. But without the Zhonya's, he is so much more at risk of like his ability to like go in and like trade kill without dying is basically 0. And in a lot of these fights, he's going in and dealing a lot of damage, but he's also dying for it. Loud get the game 4 victory. We're going to game 5. We'll see who can clutch up and take up the victory. Game 5, Lion versus Loud. Looking at the comps, I think that Loud's comp is so much better. And then they picked Vex, and that champ might be the worst champ in the entire game. I won't lie. They have Xin Zhao 2, Kosate 2 versus Xin Zhao and Jax. And then they have Caitlyn Nami versus Corey Rakan, which, okay, Corey Rakan is a real lane, but I think Caitlyn Nami should be like winning early and should be able to get an advantage. In my head, it just seems so good. And then they picked Vex. I cannot use words to describe how trash this champ is, in my opinion. He must not play Sylas. He must not play like 15 champs before this. Admittedly, it is game 5 Fearless. To me, the most obvious thing I would want to pick is Sylas. I think this is a good Sylas game, personally. But, okay, whatever. We pick Vex. We don't want to win, I guess. But we'll see, because the rest of the comp I think is really good. So we'll just see how it goes.
Hunting for a win.
Let's go Loud. Oh, there's a pause. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, both junglers path downwards. Again, everyone always paths down. Dokla was doing some little fun messing around behind the tower. Nothing really came of it. What was interesting, the one change to the setup was Inspired, after clearing his bot side Krugs, just recalls and runs straight to the scuttle. This allows him to gank mid after the scuttle and alters the timing on when this gank usually comes. Envy
able to. Oh, might have an angle here.
He dies to this, and he really shouldn't die. Like, he is so fine, but he just plays it so atrociously poorly. Like, this is separate from how bad the champ is. He can just walk this way, and as soon as Inspire presses E or Flash, he can press W, and he'll never die here. The problem is that he's going to waste a lot of time doing that. So he does this, but, like, this is worse. Like, in my head, what happened was, man, I don't want to go down. That he's going to chase me, and that's going to take forever to get back to lane. So I'm just going to flash, and then I can recall under my tower safely fast. But then he just dies. And Saint correctly waits until the knockup before placing the gravity field, gets the stun to make sure the kill goes down, and it's a first blood. Good play from Inspired to get that gank, change the pathing there. Really good stuff from him. And this gold lead that Lion has largely coming from the Victor. Another thing is that Vex, it's not even like Vex is good against Victor. I might just complain about Vex the entire game. I'll try not to, but like Vex is good against melee champs, and Victor's like the CEO of winning lane, so it's just extra bad. Okay, anyways. Bot lane for Loud is doing well though. Up approximately like half a wave or so after Corki gets this whole wave. Rakan goes in for a trade but gets bubbled and almost dies, barely survives. I think a flash out of there would have killed that Rakan, but Bull opts not to go for it. Probably not as confident that that would result in a kill as the guy who can see in hindsight that it would. Inspired, crossing from the top side of the map, tries to get in range to contest this dragon, but it's just too late. I'm not actually sure what Inspired was doing. Oh, he was going for the top crab and then realized too late that maybe he should be trying to contest this. So a bit awkward there. Inspired could have potentially made this a flip 50-50, but alas. Loud do get this dragon, and Inspired then goes to top crab and starts clearing. Now, importantly, for something that will happen soon is Zahen's clear is going to be slower because of this. Because he did the Drake, actually, why? Oh, he probably thought Xin Zhao was here and making sure that Xin Zhao wasn't taking his camps. He had his whole team check all of the camps, but this kind of slows down his clear of the wave. It's kind of self-inflicted. Clear of the camps. This is going to matter in 2 minutes. So Xin Zhao is going to full clear his entire jungle. Does every single camp. Zahen is full clearing his entire jungle, but is, 2 camps behind. So Xin Zhao finishes the Krugs, Zahen finishes the Krug, or Xin Zhao finishes the Krugs, Zahen finishes the Wolves. Now Xin Zhao's gonna base, he's gonna run top side, he's gonna run into the Grubs, and Zahen is finishing the Romp now. Again, Zahen is just on the complete wrong side of the map, so these Xin Zhao Grubs are free. That's why no one contests that. Loud opts to, contest the bot lane. This is very scary. Now, in an earlier game, I was talking about, like, the Mel, like, when Mel is, if Mel was a different champion, like Vex, for example, they would have sent this dive. But I think the reason they don't go for this dive is that the champs from Loud are weirdly bad at diving. And this wave is going to get exploded by Corki. And Rakan is really hard to dive because just going near him charms you. It's a very difficult and resilient bot lane. Corki's also a pretty tanky AD carry. He's got a phage and he's got a strong dash as well. So Loud don't get the dive in response, but they do put more pressure and allow their Caitlyn Nami to play really aggressively. But the lack of Grubs is unfortunate. Now, earlier, Rakan had almost died trying to make a play. Again, Rakan is going to get hit by the bubble. Nami ult comes in, but a lot of mobility from Rakan. Rakan is actually pretty good at not dying to, or is actually like has a lot of sustain weirdly with the Q and the shields. Jax manages to survive this top gank. Inspired and Dokla have to sit here. Now,
Yeah, good moves there from Doke with the dodge
One of
away. I
the
feel like Young needs to spend so much
advantages
time
to
blocked
losing
on
your
the
lane
dive
is that
that
very
really
often you
happens.
recall
Goes to play
first.
topside.
So right now,
But
you can
dips
see
away
that
from it.
Corki and Rakan, because of what happened to Rakan, are forced to recall. They can't stay in lane. They have the base. And Kaylin and Nami say, okay, we're going to get an advantage off that and push in the wave, deny you some CS, get more gold before we have to recall, and then come back on the map. But because Corki is already back on the map, Inspired, the dragon has just spawned and will essentially sneak this dragon before Loud is ready to do it. Loud probably knows that's happening. And Zehen doesn't have his full item, but part of Loud not contesting was they knew that this timing was coming up. So Zehen has the Triforce, no stacked dragons for Loud. Caitlyn's similar to Kalista in that you often want to try to stack, but it's not a lot less important on Caitlyn to stack the dragons. A nice what's it called? Raptor steal from Inspired there as well. Young J was slow and is clear, right? And so he was slowing it earlier, and he's slowing it still. Xin Zhao 2 goes for the ulti onto the Victor, but it's kind of just nothing. And he gets traded back on. Nothing comes of it. But this is a reprieve. I call it a relief gank, where Zehen goes mid, chunks the Victor, forces Victor ulti. Not force, but gets Victor ulti. And this allows Vex to have a lot easier time in the lane. The result of this is that Vex, on this timing, after this wave, normally this is when you're going to base, but she has a timing to go roam. And top lane is the perfect location for a roam. Now, Vex used ulti in the bot in the mid play, so she doesn't have it here. But it's probably good that she didn't use it, because that was probably not a good time to go in as Mbessa. The dive afterwards is very clean. Nice kill onto the Jax, getting the Mbessa ahead again. I don't know if I've said it already, but I think Mbessa is completely broken. Shabby's getting nerfed a million times in a row. And the mid plates and top plates are the reward from LYON. LYON's bot lane also lane swap. The reason they lane swap is because both bot lanes are recalling at the same time, but their top laner just died. So the top lane is going to get pushed. So they have to lane swap. The Caitlyn goes mid. And this also results in Corki being able to get a couple of grub attacks top lane, and then eventually the lanes will swap back. But Victor's also pretty happy to be mid. And here, this is just a really random, like, Inspired just gets in E-range of Nami, and that just means Nami is dead. The Nami tries to flash away, but the mark from Xin Zhao is already on her, so the extended E-range exists. Xin Zhao still is in range, and this extra pressure allows LYON to start the Herald. The Herald is free, essentially, and it was free until Dokla just got completely farmed. So, Herald is free. Normally, you want to trade on the other side. In this case, the Zehen is on the complete wrong side of the map because they weren't expecting Nami to die here. They probably wanted to fight this. But after Nami dies, the Vex says, you know what? We're just going to give top because they're all top side. Let's make a play bot side. But Bessa just kills the Jax under the tower. If I speak. Okay, anyways. Dragon is coming up. This game revolved a lot around the dragon fights. And we have to see how the posturing and positioning goes. Loud have Caitlyn Nami. They have good setup. They have healing. They have okay poke. They probably don't have better poke than LYON, but definitely both teams really prefer being first on the objective. LYON has first setup, and Loud are going to try to walk in. Caitlyn's walking in with Ghost. Auto attacks the Victor. Gets ulted out. And it's just too late. The dragon's already gone, and now LYON look for the engage, but Loud kind of weirdly split themselves up. Like, it was very unnecessary. Al's plays this fight very well. I'll play it again. But nice flash there in there from Saint. Gets another kill. LYON is going to get this mid tier 1. They're going to get the crash onto the tier 2 as well. Big gold infusion for LYON. And really the first big lead of the game going in the favor of LYON. Every game today has felt like whoever got a relatively significant, like 3k plus gold lead, just won the game instantly. Even the game where LYON lost that they got Baron, I don't think they had a big gold lead. I think they just had the Nash, which I might be wrong about. It's been a couple hours. But for the most part, this entire day, I mean, Genji stomped every game. And then most of the games today have just gone relatively smoothly once the team got ahead. So, okay, focusing on this team fight, though. What I'm talking about is, okay, the Dragon's already gone. So now LYON is fully prepared for the fight. They're not in any misposition. And the Xin Zhao and Abessa, excuse me, I keep saying Xin Zhao. Zhen and Abessa walk down because of the Victor ulti. They don't want to get hit by that. But I feel like they just need to walk away. Like, they just need to tank the Victor ulti damage. The Abessa tries to go in afterwards and then realizes, oh, I was supposed to walk this way. But now there's a gravity field here where there wasn't one before. And the Caitlyn and Nami can't effectively deal damage while the Abessa and Xin Zhao, I'm just gonna keep calling it Zhen and Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao 2 was fighting. I got so annoyed about, like, okay, whatever. Ambessa's just Abessa, but she did die there, so that makes me happy. I don't know why I've turned into somebody that just, like, I get so annoyed when I think of Abessa. This champ is so stupid. Okay. Nothing really happened in the interim between the dragons, so we're just gonna go to the next dragon. LYON do manage to get first setup, push out Loud here. Reason for this is Caitlyn is bot lane. I don't really remember why Caitlyn is bot lane. I guess Loud's just contesting from the bot side. But this is a way that Loud can artificially get first setup, right? They're forcing LYON to walk in. Here, Victor steps on a trap, but no auto attack comes in. The problem is this bush is not warded. And that is, like, hella scary for the Caitlyn. She doesn't feel safe to walk up because there's no ward. Redbird has no more wards now. And this is just... it's the same as the last dragon, essentially. Where the dragon is dead. So now LYON can, like, regroup, reposition to get ready for a fight. Here, Isles goes into this bush, fully in vision from Envy, but Bull does not see it. And Isles looks for the engage, gets on Bull. Bull doesn't get 100-0, but the fight just starts, and everyone on Loud focus on Xin Zhao, but Xin Zhao doesn't end up going down. And that is a big, big problem. Ultimately, it may not have mattered, but it's insult to injury, essentially. Nami gets dove here as well. So another really well executed team fight from LYON. They don't give Loud the angle while they're doing the dragon and get a free, essentially, team fight engage on their own terms. And the reward is the Nasher. No funny business with Zehen. He just runs away. Now it's a Baron push. Think they push mid top here. The reason they push mid top is just that's the tempo of the game. They push in bot. Somebody push in bot, probably Dokla. Push in bot before the Baron. So they're gonna go top side now. Inspired is something I noticed about Inspired is he is very consistently doing his own camps after getting Baron. He's not about, like, just run in and, like, you know, get control of the map and do stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do my Krugs, which I personally think is troll, but I mean, he's better than me, so maybe he knows better. Dokla doing his mandatory 1 death per game on side lane by himself, quite literally caught by all 5 members of the enemy team, but it is okay. We're just gonna say W Dokes because he is the GOAT for that, for all the things he does for NA. So another dragon. Not much after that happened with Baron because Dokla died. So it is just another dragon fight. Lion have for setup. Loud really need to find their engage and really need to find it before the dragon's dead, especially now that it's soul. So let's see. Lion have not started the dragon yet, and they don't bother starting the dragon. They just look for the engage, and the Mbessa is simply too far before this fight. Like the fight is already over by the time Mbessa TP's in. Mbessa was anticipating the Lion team to start dragon. So if you look at where Mbessa is, she's down in Tribra. She is seen, and I think that's why Lion so confidently pulled the trigger, because they just got the scuttle. They see the Mbessa, and they know, okay, if we just run at Loud and run up, we cannot lose because Mbessa is so far. It's just a straight up 5v4. The Caitlyn is out of the fight. The Nami is dead. The Vex is dead, and Mbessa has just now arrived, right? Now the fight's over already. That's gonna be Ocean Soul. Lion up 7k gold, commanding lead, and they're just gonna wait for the next Baron to do stuff. Heartbreaking. I hate seeing when the players are sad. It actually breaks my heart. I cannot describe with words how sad losing makes me feel. I'm like the CEO of like just have fun, but like when it's competition and it's your job, it's not just have fun, it's like win. Oh my god. So when I see people being sad that they lost, it actually kills me inside. Lion very slowly do the Nasher here. And yeah, this game is pretty much over. I mean, they don't have an unsurmountable gold lead, but I have not said Vex's name once because she has literally not done anything this game. She did a couple roams that were good, but she's just a complete non-factor. The Mbessa is the only person on Loud's team that is useful. Everyone else is down a lot. Vex is a completely worthless champion. And Lion is going to siege. Interestingly, they siege all the lanes. So Victor goes top here. Instead of trying to siege like 2 lanes at the same time, they have to siege all 3, which honestly is really surprising to me because I think Loud has pretty good pick potential on the members of Lion. Like, I feel like this Victor should be pretty scared trying to catch top, but Lion does execute this pretty well. Like, they don't, Loud do not find an engage. They just killed the bot tier 2s. Mid tier 1 or mid tier 3 and bot tier 3 are pretty healthy. Saint just ults to get the Mesa off him. With Ocean Soul, very loss of sustain, not a big deal for the Victor to use to trade health for that push. He gets the top inhib tower. Now he's hitting the inhib. Like, this is just working well. A couple of cannons on mid tier 3 tower is almost dead. Bot tier 3 tower is almost dead. Victor is now recalling. He got the top inhibitor. Now he's recalling and TPing mid. Jax is TPing bot lane. The cannon creep is going to kill this bot tower. And Inspired finds the Vex. Insult to injury. Once again, the Vex is the one that dies and gets caught. Loud's been looking for the last 2 minutes, essentially, for anyone on Lion to miss position. And the first one who does is the Vex. So, unfortunately, you cannot make a mistake this late with this much of a gold lead. You're probably going to lose anyway, but that is certainly making it worse. The fans are in shambles. It's a very sad day for the fans of Loud. But it's a great day for NA. We won. Yes, we got revenge for America's Cup, where we lost 6-0 to the 3rd seed. We did beat the 2nd seed, though, but we lost 3-0. But anyways, congratulations to Lion. Well played from them. Looking at this series, I gotta say, I think Dokla played really well. Inspired, he's kind of suffering from like GOAT syndrome, where like he just plays so well so consistently that like I just don't want to give it to him all the time. Inspired definitely played well. The Pantheon game was really good. The Xin Zhao game was really good. But Dokla, I think it always feels like he's overperforming weirdly, even though he just does it all the time. So my player of the series is going to be Dokla. He's also NA, so I love him. Congrats to Lion. They have the privilege of fighting Gen G next round. And I think, I don't know if that's tomorrow, but G2 BLG is tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be an exciting day. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, make sure to like. If you did like this video, make sure to like it, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all tomorrow for the next 2 best of 5s. Have a wonderful day.
What do you guys think of that series?
I think that was one